All right, guys, Coach Bolt's here. We're ready to get going. As soon as the camera comes up, we'll get started with Evan Bland. As soon as just a second, let's wait for the camera here. All right, now we're going. We'll start off with Evan Bland.
Is it working? Everyone okay?
Yep, we got
you. Okay. Hey, well, I'll just start with a look-ahead question. How confident are you guys that Northwestern will be in town? You guys left someone to play this weekend.
Very. I think they get on a bus tomorrow morning to come play. So I've talked to their coach this week, Coach Allen, and that's unless something happens between today and tomorrow, that's the plan. They'll be on a bus headed this way and get going on Friday.
What maybe stands out about those guys, and is there any added challenge in terms of scouting when they haven't played in a couple of weekends?
Yeah, what stands out is they've got a lot of power through their lineup. A lot of guys that scare you, raise your blood pressure a little bit when they step in the box. And still hitting for a pretty good average on top of that. So they've been a team that's put up a lot of runs at times, and that thing about it is they're going to be. You can look at it one of two ways. It may be rusty for having not played a couple of weeks, but also at the same time, everybody's pretty fresh too. This time of year. At times, the grind of playing, maybe your bat speed's not as good as it was early in the season, or maybe some arms are a little bit more fatigued. I mean, they're going to be refreshed, ready to rock. They always play us tough. They're going to be ready to play. So from a scouting standpoint, I mean, I guess there's probably enough of a sample size this year where you can kind of get some information from what they've done up to this point. But again, for us, it's just all about. It's honestly all about us. It's all about us playing the game that we're capable of playing, and regardless of the opponent, we respect every opponent that we play. Our guys are going to be ready to play, and not look too far ahead. Just be our best on Friday.
Chris Bassinet.
Hey, well, how important was it just to win that last game on Monday? I know obviously you want to win them all, but just with the way that game went, how important was that for your guys' psyche and just getting ready for the short week this week and everything?
Yeah, I mean, all those games are important, of course, but like we've talked about throughout the course of the year, just finding a way to win on getaway day or the last game of a series is just huge because you're always playing for something on the weekend, whether it's to win a series, to avoid getting swept, to sweep a series, to create momentum going into the next week, and all those type of things. So, I mean, we came out guns a-blazing there in the first inning, and it just turned into a really weird game at that point after that, with just a lot of back and forth and hard hit balls and plays made left and right, run-saving plays. It took everybody. I mean, our lineup card was completely, I mean, it was a mess. We used a ton of arms. So it was just a really good team win and a really good finish to what turned out to be a great weekend for us.
Kevin Suits.
Hey, Will, can you talk about just overall the way Kyle Perry came out this past Monday and what you saw out of him, given everything he's gone through over the past year?
Yeah, it was awesome to have him back out there. I mean, he's been such a big part of our team culture and just such a team guy. Been right behind his teammates. I mean, nobody's more invested into every pitch of every game that we've played this year than he's been. Everybody was really excited to see him back out there. He's worked really hard to get back so quickly from his injury. Diligent with his rehab and those type of things. So. It's good to see him back out there. I thought his stuff was pretty good. Threw a couple good breaking balls in there. Fastball velocity, probably not quite where it was before the injury, and not quite to where it probably will get over the course of the next few weeks. But it was still pretty solid for his first time out. And, you know, I think I didn't see any nerves from him at all. I didn't see a guy that was trying to do too much. You know, first pitch swing, they got a hit, and then a guy lays down a great bunt on him. I thought he was a little bit better athlete than that to get off the mound to make that play. Trust me, I've joked with him about that already. But no, it's been great to have him back, and he's hopefully going to continue to feel great and be a big part of our staff.
Back to Evan Bland.
Hey, well, just real simply, what is it that makes you guys so good defensively? And then during the week, how do you I guess advance that or strengthen that through drills and practice work?
Yeah, I think as you get going in the season, the long season, your practice time is somewhat limited because you're kind of running that fine line between trying to keep guys fresh, healthy, but also making sure you're taking care of the fundamentals. So we're probably not running as many of the high failure rate drills that we run in the preseason to kind of help get them prepared for the game speed. And honestly, you probably don't need to do it as much just because you are playing a lot of games, but it all comes down to focus and mental toughness and selflessness. I think there's a direct correlation between being locked in and focused and selfless as a baseball player to playing good defense, because you're solely focused on one thing at that point in time. You're not worried about your at bat. You're not thinking about how you're 0 for 3 or 3 for 3. You're focused on that pitch, and you're not worried about what the other team's doing. So many times in baseball, it can be contagious, not only with your own team but with the other team. Man, this is locked in. It's going to be a pitcher's duel, and then both teams settle into a pitcher's duel. Sometimes it's, oh, this is a slugfest, and both teams settle in for a slugfest. And, you know, sometimes you feed off the other team's poor defense, where it's like, well, it's a sloppy game. Oh, the conditions aren't great. So in order to play good defense, you have to be mentally focused and locked in and, you know, take care of the fundamentals throughout the week. It starts with your catch play. It starts with how you take balls live off the bat in BP and in the infield and in the outfield, just making the reps count. But really it boils down to being mentally focused and selfless, because you're not worried about anything else in that moment other than just making the play.
What's maybe the least popular or most effective defensive drill that you guys have or put them through?
Oh man, I would say just any game situation type drill that there's going to be some failure involved. Whether we could run a drill where it's first and second cuts and relays, where it's only a ball that it moves an outfielder to his left or to his right, and everybody's got to get lined up in the right spot, and we got to throw the ball to the right spot with base runners running. It could be first and third, one out, where you've got base runners on and all the infielders have to make a decision on where they're going to go with the ball depending on how hard the ball's hit. There's failure involved in those because there's decision making. You've got to think on your feet. You've got live base runners. I think those are probably the ones that, I guess you asked the group early on, they probably are their least favorite because there's the most failure involved. But, you see the results on game day, so it's ones that they know are necessary that we need to make sure we stay sharp on.
And just one more, if I could. How much have the shifts played into the success you guys have had defensively? And are those preset, or do the players have some kind of freedom to adjust? I guess how have the shifts played into things this year?
Yeah, I think the shifts have certainly helped at times. I mean, the work that the coaches put in, Coach Marcuzzo with the scouting report, and he positions the infielders, and Coach Harvell with the outfielders, just the advanced scouting. And then also not only advanced scouting the hitters that we're facing, but kind of cross-referencing that with the pitchers that we have on the mound as well, to give us a pretty good idea of where to have a guy position. I think that's definitely taking away some runs from the other team, just being in the right spot at times that way. And you're going to get beat sometimes on it, but you just play the law of averages there. So I would say that it's played a pretty big role in it. And yeah, our guys, Spencer does such a good job on the infield of just having a feel, and Roscom for that matter, of what they see, what the hitters' swings look like in the game, and they can come back and give us feedback like, hey, I know we're positioned here, but this is what we see this guy's trying to do, and we'll have that feedback from them, and we can make adjustments on the fly if need be as well.
All right, a couple more. Chris Bassnett.
Well, I know you talked about him a lot on the radio this weekend, but just seeing Gunnar Hellstrom get the walk-off there against Indiana, and him being able to jump back in after sitting most of the year, what have you seen out of him, and how important is he to what you guys are doing, both on the field and in the dugout?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just talk about a selfless young man, just an incredible, humble, hardworking, nicest guy you'll ever meet. I mean, just I could go on and on and on. I mean, everybody loves Gunnar Hellstrom. I mean, what he brings to the team, he's gone from being a guy that's played, caught a ton to, maybe being a part-time player to, a guy that wasn't playing at all for most of the season. And he stayed ready. I mean, we've seen some of the Tuesday at-bats show up where he's squaring some balls up. He's worked his tail off in the bullpen for us at times, just catching guys, getting them ready to go into the games in the bullpen, and just stayed ready. And he's going to be a guy we're going to continue to call on, whether it be pinch hitting, it could be a DH spot depending on the matchup. But yeah, just really gratifying for him, I know, just to get in there and get the job done. And everybody has a lot of confidence in him just because he does work so hard. He's so invested in the team. Such a great kid. Couldn't be happier for him with that big hit there against Indiana. And, you just ask him to lay down a bunt, he can do that. You ask him to hit and run, he can do that. You ask him to hit a line drive, coming off the bench, he can do that. So hasn't had a lot of chances to catch this year. But I think the bat is going to be something that we're going to lean on here down the stretch.
All right, last one, Kevin Suits.
Well, I know you guys are just worried about getting better today at practice, and you say that over and over, but it's our job to look at the standings and the Big Ten race. You're now hitting the midway point of May, and you're right in the thick of everything. How do you feel about that? And how important was this past weekend for you guys to remain in contention?
Yeah, I mean, again, we needed to get back to playing better baseball. The weekend at home with Rutgers wasn't, as we've talked about, it wasn't from a lack of trying the first two games. I mean, we were right there to win both of those games. Now, Sunday was not obviously acceptable in any way, shape, or form, and we just wanted to make sure we were ready to bounce back mentally from that, and we did that. That's what we needed to see, quite honestly, was let's not worry about anything else other than just getting back to playing our brand of baseball, make it all about us, make it all about taking care of what we do best. And so, again, that's got to continue to be our message. That's going to continue to be our message is let's not worry about the things that we can't control. We can't control what other teams do. We can't control anything up to this point other than just us and going out and playing the style of baseball that we know helps us be successful. So that'll continue to be the message, and that'll continue to be what the dialogue is with the team, from the captains to the rest of the players on the team. And you just can't get caught up in what's going on around you. You just can't because you make it more than it should be. And these guys have played hard all year. I mean, played as hard as any team I've ever been around. They've competed as hard as any team I've ever been around. We do that, I will be proud of them no matter what. That's really all we ask of them. So that shouldn't put any more pressure on your shoulders when you know that that's all you got to do is just show up and compete, get after it, and we'll take the results however they may come.
All right, thanks everybody. See you on Friday night.